finally saw Cyborg challenge. This is a woman who has run through every single person out there. And Holly, I thought, gave her a solid 5 hard rounds. Cyborg is just brilliant, amazing.
And Kenny, speaking of running through, we had an exceptional co-main event where we saw Khabib run through every strike that Edson Barboza threw, landed so many takedowns and so many significant strikes from the top position.
All right, well, we have a lot to get to, folks, so let's do it right now. Highlights, Ken Flo. No one, as you said, has been able to push Cyborg around like Holly Holm did, but in the end, it was an and still situation.
Yeah, this was still a lot of nervous energy from Holly Holm. She has yet to seem comfortable in the octagon. Even in her wins, she has yet to really just let it go and kind of release that tension. Cyborg was the more mature fighter. Cyborg was the more patient fighter. And I thought that was the difference. The other difference, the power. Every time they traded, if Holly landed a shot, it was typically just an arm punch. Didn't even move Cyborg. When Cyborg landed a shot, it got Holly Holm's attention. It would rock her. It would stumble her. And just the power was just significant. The power advantage was significant for Cyborg. No doubt about that.
100%. We all knew that was going to be the differential in this fight, that she was not going to be able to deal with that power, but she would have had to replace that power with volume. She did a good job of getting in and out, throwing some strikes, landing with kicks, but I think she needed to be a tad bit more active if she wanted to secure the victory. And also, she cannot have her back against the octagon because we all know that Cyborg is going to let off with those hooks. She did a great job. When I say she, I mean Cyborg, hiding behind her jab, using that to set up the combinations, and also showing that she's a true veteran by being patient and waiting on the proper time to land those strikes.
Well, we do know that Cris Cyborg retained her title in her first defense, but Tyron, you know, you were walking around here saying, I don't know.
Oh, my God. You're going to try to act like you. Okay.
Because you said, okay, what, set the record straight.
Let me set the record straight.
Or did you not say that you think Holly may have won the fight?
When I was watching the fight, especially, you know, some 10-7 rounds and some 30-27s that we didn't think it was 30-27, you never know what the judges are saying. Now, Holly Holm was making a lot of noise. Every punch she was screaming, every feint. So some judges see that, hey, they see that, and they think there's some significant strikes being landed. Yeah. So it was some close rounds. I'm not used to seeing Cyborg in close fights. So I'm like, who knows? The judges might have been like, 3-2, Holly Holm.
I love it. KB putting the pressure like Khabib Nurmagomedov on Tyron Woodley. He had nowhere to go.
No,
I love it.
No.
Nice job,
well, Ken Flo, you know, we talk about, you mentioned here the maturity that Cris Cyborg displayed here. And I was actually quite impressed with that as well, because usually she does win a fight much more quickly. So what did you see from her tonight that impressed you just beyond getting a win?
Honestly, she understood the idea of tactics and strategy way more than Holly Holm. For me, I felt like Holly Holm, she just kept trying to blitz every single time. And I don't know. She is at her best when she's trying to counter-strike, and I expected her to wait for Cyborg to come and then land a shot, then get an angle, then fire a kick, or at least throw some kicks down the middle. Try to stop that forward pressure or wait for her to go second. She was not doing that, and she was getting caught because of it.
Well, she definitely made Cyborg run into a couple punches. But I think what happened
she did.
What had happened was when she ran into those punches, she saw that those punches did not phase Cyborg. And sometimes that becomes a little bit intimidating when you hit somebody with a clean shot and they're still walking forward, throwing back at you. But also, I agree with Kenny Florian that she was throwing so many high kicks. You got to know Cyborg was going to be prepared for that after watching the Beshko Bay and the Ronda Rousey KO. So when she was throwing those high kicks and they were being blocked and checked by Cyborg, she should have switched that up to a push kick to the face and throw down the middle.
Well, Ken Flo, I have a question for you, though, because one of the biggest critiques of Holly Holm's game is she's not aggressive enough. Sometimes she's overly patient and only waits for counters. And so now she's being criticized for taking the opposite approach. So she needs to find the sweet middle there.
Yeah, that's not her style.
Yeah.
Do what works for you. Do what works best for you. And again, you know, I've yet to see Holly Holm really fully comfortable in the octagon. Even in her win against Ronda, it was like this huge weight was off of her shoulder. Even against Betch Kohea, a fighter that shouldn't even be in the octagon with her. I think Holly Holm is a far superior fighter than Betch Kohea. but there's just so much nervousness and anxiety on her shoulders. You could see it. You could see it today. She's always pacing before the fight, pacing between rounds. This is a fighter that is an 18-time boxing world champion. She's competed at the highest level, but for whatever reason in the UFC, she's just not relaxed out there yet.
Kenny, I think that's her style. I don't think she fights relaxed. I think that's the way she comes out. When she's at her best, she's bouncing around, she's doing her 1-2 thing, and that's just the way she competes. In this fight, I think she did what she should have done. She actually surprised us in the clinch, grabbing Cyborg, being able to handle her in the clinch, and pressing her against the octagon, whether she was getting a break. No matter what, she wasn't getting punched by Cyborg. If she would have been a tad bit more active with her offense and switched up her striking combinations, the variety of her strikes is what lost her the fight. She kept throwing the same punch. Cyborg started to cue in on that, started to counter and land those vicious hooks as we see right there. If she would have did a little bit better job noticing that she was not landing with the high kick, was not landing with the blitzing punches, and switch those things up, maybe she would have more opportunities to land.
Listen, I thought Holly went a good solid 5 rounds with Cyborg. I just think that with her skills, she should have done even better.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay, well, Megan Anderson was supposed to be facing Cris Cyborg. There were some issues, and she was not able to fight her after the fight, though. The champ did say that she would like a fight with Megan. There was some talk about bantamweight champ Amanda Nunes coming up to challenge Cris Cyborg. Dana actually was okay with that.
I'm with that.
He has said that. I know Cris didn't really want to fight a fellow Brazilian. T. Wood, what do you make of the Megan Anderson option here?
I want to talk about the Amanda Nunes option.
I bet you
Because she actually has the power to potentially hurt Cyborg. She's the only female fighter I can think that's on a roster that has the tenacity, that's ornery enough to get in her face, and actually has the accuracy to hit her in a spot that can hurt her.
Yeah, and I tell you what, as big as Holly Holm is, Megan Anderson's even bigger. Yeah. I mean, she's a good-sized featherweight. She wants this fight. She was supposed to get it before. She's been training hard. And again, if you're in that division, your focus is on Cyborg. That is her goal. And I think that's a fight that makes sense. And a fight that probably should happen before the Amanda Nunes fight. As much as I want to see that fight.
I just want to see it.
I want to see it too.
Because you brought it up.
But to be honest with you, I also want to see Jermaine Durandamy go back to 45 and
that one.